welcome to this completely unnecessary podcast for Tuesday, August 6th, 2019, alongside Plucky Ian Ferguson.
Plucky.
I'm Paltry Pat Contry. Today we'll be talking about Ninja streaming on Mixer, not Twitch, GameStop firing a bunch of dozens of regional managers, the Game Boy 30th anniversary, a Kid Icarus sealed game found in an attic and auction for $9,000, some fun with Zelda in China, and a Patreon poll, besides the tariffs, and your Q&A. Real quickly, unfortunately, there were a couple of mass shootings that happened again over the weekend in Texas and in Ohio. And of course, you had, besides the reasonable solution, people were saying, oh, we should look into stronger gun control laws, and how about stronger universal background checks, something that, 90% of Americans agree with, that passed in the House, no problem. People,
but, Mitch won't bring that.
Yeah, the House, the Senate Majority Leader is tabling things like that to be voted on, just like, securing our elections. But you had a lot of politicians, just about only GOP, talk about violence in video games as a contributing factor to gun violence. And it's tiring to talk about, since we brought this up, I think, last year. And I know I've talked about it in NotsCom podcast, and we talked about there's no, absolutely zero link to between gun violence and violent video games. Every other country in the world has the same violent video games. Japan has a ton of video games. Europe, they play the same video games, and they don't have the gun violence we do. It's a bad scapegoat. I'm sick of talking about it. We have to reiterate that, because we can't let lawmakers try to control the narrative about why this stuff is happening.
They don't want to lose money from lobbies. They simply want to scapegoat it and move on to the next thing, so they don't have to take any real action. Yeah, the
NRA contributes to Republicans, in particular. Mitch McConnell's one of them, and the NRA is at least partially backed by Russia. At this point, it's almost a foregone conclusion that they are. So the only thing I could say, obviously, it's terrible, and at the same time, you have a buffoonish president stoking the fires of bigotry as much as he can. That doesn't help at all, obviously. And so I'm going to say that just, we have elections in a little over a year and a couple months. Just vote how you think you should vote, to vote out the people who are not doing a goddamn thing to try to, change our climate, and make me, try to make me a little less fearful of going out in public, because I hate to say it, some of these conventions now I'm thinking about in the back of my mind.
I always worry about it. I always worry about it at conventions.
And this isn't. I don't think this is. I don't think it's a political partisan issue. It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be.
People make it one.
They make it, but it's ridiculous. It's like climate change. People make climate change a political debate when it has nothing to do with that. It's a science debate. Climate change. It's not politics. It's ridiculous. Just vote out who you think should be voted out. Hold your politicians accountable on the local level, state level. Hold them accountable, vote them out, get active. That's one thing I could say if you don't like the direction of where things are going. That's all I'm going to say about that, unless Ian has anything else to add over there.
That's about that.
Okay, so on a positive note, well, first off, we're going to be at Long Island Retro Gaming Expo this weekend, Ian. I saw your little Twitter video.
Oh, did it get posted? I didn't see it. The nice.
It did. I think I'm going to do one. I'll just do one and tweet it myself. That's in Long Island, baby. It's at expo.liretro.com, and that is August. Is that 11th and 12th?
10th and 11th.
10th and 11th. 3 days and counting beforehand. And there's going to be pinball, museum, guest speakers, tournaments, musical guests. You're going to have me and Ian hanging out, probably doing a podcast panel. You're going to have the Cheap Ass Gamer podcast. Our pal Leonard Herman. You're going to have the Modern Vintage Gamer. Frank Cifaldi will be there. My Life in Gaming guys, Retronauts, Vinny from Vinesauce, and a bunch more. So again, go to expo.liretro.com for tickets and information. And I'm gonna get a slice. Ian. Hey, Vinny!
I just can't.
We need a cheese pie here, Vinny.
I want I went White Castle, and I just can't get that Frank Cifaldi guy out of my life.
No. Can't get you out of my head. And then I just was at Missouri Game Con, and it was my first Midwest Midwest convention.
I heard it's a good one.
It was good. I had fun. It was a one-day one. I was always leery about one-day events because it's a lot to, you got to set up, do a panel, and then break down all in one day. It's a lot to do. But I sold out of all of a certain NES Guidebook, which, by the way, is going to be, the truck broke down on the way to the warehouse to restock them. That's not even a joke. It should be restocked hopefully today or tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Sherry and
This Oregon Trail.
Sherry in Atlanta has been coordinating with me. She's been a peach about, truck broke down, Patrick. I want to tell you. I'm like, oh, well, Sherry, it's not your fault. And then the certain Super Nintendo Guidebook is actually getting proof right now, and that should be going to print this week. Oh, but anyway, Missouri Game Con was really fun. Thanks for everyone coming out. It was my first Midwestern one. Very flat, the Midwest. That is true. It's very flat. You don't see any mountains anywhere. Like San Diego, New Jersey, you look around, you can see mountains eventually somewhere. If you look somewhere, or at least tall buildings, you can't see any of that.
Oh, yeah.
There's no tall buildings. I mean, this was outside of St. Louis by about 15 minutes. You're like looking around like you can't see it.
Was it very flat as well?
I just said it was flat.
Flat. Okay.
That's the first thing I said. It's flat.
Yeah.
Flat and low, Ian.
Every time I go back to
There's barely
Buffalo,
any hills.
Yeah.
There's like one hill was like that. It's like, oh, we're on a little hill. It's all flat.
Every time I go back to Buffalo, the first thing I notice is just how flat everywhere almost in the United States is. That's not California.
Yeah.
You come back to California and you think you're on a freaking roller coaster just driving.
Comparing it.
Yeah.
In California's not even that much. I mean, some areas there's hills and stuff, but so Jay from the Game Chasers was with Norm there with me as our pals, and they decided to take me to Golden Corral.
Buffets are the worst.
No, buffets are fine, Ian. I've been to plenty of buffets. I just never been to a Golden Corral before.
Okay.
And I hope Golden Corral is a potential sponsor of the podcast or potentially be. But the reason we went there is because one time we were going to go to one, I think, in California, and it was just opening. It was going to be a brand new one. We literally pulled up to the Golden Corral. It was listed, and they were still building it on the inside. So we go to Golden Corral on Friday night,
Whose choice?
Not mine. They insisted. Norm and Jay insisted.
All right.
They're like, well, we were supposed to take you to one before, and like, that wasn't like eating away at my soul that I didn't go to Golden Corral. I don't think they understood that. I think they really wanted to go.
Sure.
And that was their excuse to drag me. I never said, guys, let's go to Golden Corral ever in my life.
I need endless meatloaf.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so I value my meals meals to me at a convention are private time. I get to unwind and distress, especially after I traveled and unpacked a bunch of books or set them up. So we go to Golden Corral, and we go there, and it's what I expected. The decor was like a 1987 kids clothing shop, like how the carpet was and everything else. It was out of date. It looked like a Kids R Us a little bit on the inside, slightly.
A lot of gravy ground into the carpet.
Yeah, Kids R Us without the colors, without the purple and blue colors. And then we had the food. Salad bar was okay. I mean, it's hard to screw up a salad bar. If you screw up a salad bar, you die. So everything looked fresh. You had the eggs and the bacon bits or whatever else. That was fine. Then we went to the actual food. I had the bun, the bun, the honey bun. It's no Cheddar's honey bun. That's all I'm going to say. It was a little bit stale. And at this point, I'm not whining. I'm not complaining because, when I don't have food I like, I tend to let people know. I'm giving it a chance. I'm giving it, okay, maybe the bun's just bad. And then I started having some of the chicken. And actually, the fried chicken was okay. It was edible. Then I had the ham. I had the sliced ham, the fresh ham. And I saw Jay had it. So, oh, ham, I'm going to go get some. Or I think Norm had some or Jay. I went and got some sliced ham. The guy sliced you some fresh ham. Fresh ham, Ian. I should have looked at the ham before I ate it. The ham was gray.
Ooh.
It was grayish.
Grayish.
So up to this point, I'd survived. I had some mac and cheese. I had some collard greens. Greens were actually good. Again, if it was vegetables, you're in better shape. I get a fork full of ham. And I go, Norm, can you get me a napkin? Spit it out. The ham was bad. And Jay's like, it's okay. No, Jay, it wasn't. The ham was bad. And I think it started sinking that this was a bad experience, even for them. So then I was like, I had to settle on? You know what actually was decent? The taco bar was actually, like the taco meat was okay, because people were eating it. It had been sitting there for like 8 hours. My opinion, not a fact, allegedly, some of the food was there for potentially 8 hours. Oof. But yeah. And then Jay afterwards said, yeah, Pat, you're right. It wasn't good. I'm like, thanks for admitting that. They said, "Oh, but you wanted to go." I said, "No, I didn't want to go. I didn't. It was not my mind before you brought it up when I got to St. Louis." And I was like begrudgingly accepting it.
I may have
I said,
expressed light interest in going to
a year
one
and a half
year
ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, a year and a half ago. But that's why, and it's also why we can't have universal health care, because it's a place like Golden Corral. That's all I'm saying.
And their gray ham.
And their
Gray-ass ham.
bottomless fried chicken, things like that. But Long Island, we're going to grab a slice. But otherwise, people running Missouri Game Con were great. Had a good experience there. It was fun. The panel felt like stand-up. I was actually walking around with the microphone. I was like, oh, this is fun, doing stand-up. My dumb routine there. No, I don't do stand-up routine there. All right. Anything else to add, Ian? Oh, Ian's birthday. Yay! Ian's
We
going to
didn't
be...
need to bring that
Oh,
up.
sure we did, Ian. It's on the 9th. So Friday, everyone wish Ian a happy birthday. He's going to be on the plane. Are you leaving on Friday or Thursday night?
Thursday night.
Okay. Well, Ian's got a present for me first. He's got something for me.
I threw it at you.
It's down here. Okay. It's probably the worst condition one, but 3 years later, Pat gets Ian's birthday present. Pat gets a Bloodsport shirt back.
It's the one that was the most to the right in the.
It smells like Ian.
It smells like closet.
It smells like Ian. So this is a 2016 special from Thomas. Thank you, Ian, for giving me my present back.
I think it might be 2015.
You think it's 4 years?
I think it's 4 years.
Do you feel better now giving me a present that is mine, a gift that's mine?
I feel the same.
You feel the same, which means you're a sociopath. Ian's a freaking sociopath. We confirmed it. Well, the reason I wanted you to bring this to me, Ian, is because I could not, in good faith, give you a present from the guy that got me this present without getting my present back first.
Uh-huh.
So Thomas got you a present, Ian.
Okay.
So Ian, open a present up.
Thank you, Tom. I'm opening. Opening now.
And it's wrapped in Justice League wrapping paper.
It's funny because he gave me pins the other day.
Oh, it's in a long box. What is it? What is it, Ian?
Oh, it's the Bloodsport soundtrack.
It's the Bloodsport soundtrack. Show the camera there, Ian.
That's awesome.
Then that's a hard to find limited.
It's Paul Herzog.
Hopefully it's the original.
It's the German.
Is it the original Kumite
German
version?
pressing.
Not
Yeah.
the crappy Kumite remake that
Nope.
they did. Okay,
It's
so
the original.
that's Thomas. So basically, what it comes down to,
you,
Ian,
Tom.
is that I had to ransom back my present from 4 years ago in order to give you your birthday present. But hey, it all worked out.
It did.
It all worked out. So
Nice.
next week I'm wearing this. And I'm going to cut off the sleeves. This is going to be Pat's Bloodsport workout shirt right there. I might put it on right now. I might strip in front of the camera right now.
Oh, gross.
Gross. You've seen me eat a burrito shirtless. It's fine, Ian.
That
happy
soundtrack
birthday, Ian.
is fantastic.
Ian, what are you turning? 37? You don't.
Yes.
You don't know.
Yes, 37.
Okay. It's 2 years younger than Pat.
I had to make sure it wasn't 38.
We'll celebrate Friday night. We'll get a slice. Hey, Vito, get a slice for Ian. It's his birthday, huh? Yeah, it's my Long Island Italian voice. It's a little bit off.
I'm just going to eat a Crave case.
A Crave case?
Yeah.
What, Taco Bell? What is that?
No, Crave case is White Castle, 30 burgers in a suitcase.
You get like a little suitcase?
Yeah.
You get to keep the suitcase?
It's a
Is it
little
plastic?
cardboard suitcase.
Okay. Well, happy birthday. Well, wish
Thank
Ian
you.
a happy birthday on Friday.
Appreciate it.
All right. Ian,
Patrick.
you know we're the official Battle Royale podcast. And we're friends. We're good friends with Ninja.
We are close personal friends of Ninja.
Ninja reached out to me, wishes you a happy birthday.
It was tough to keep all this news under wraps. I've been under NDA for a month and a half.
Yeah, when Ninja first told me about it, when we were hanging out by the docks
Yes.
back in June, I was like, Ninja, you making the right move, buddy? Going to another streaming service. Well, Ninja,
And he was wistfully looking out over the ocean,
he's like,
wondering.
Pat, you know, you were there for me in grade school. You gave me some good mentorship. I think I could tell I can trust you.
So Ninja is now exclusively streaming on Mixer, which is Microsoft's streaming platform.
And I've heard the name before, but it hadn't been for a while before this.
Yeah,
I'll be
exactly.
honest.
I hadn't heard it in ages. I was actually like,
It's been a while.
thought it was like a dating site.
It sounds like a dating site.
Yes.
I guess Mixer, because you're mixing things up. Like, is that Microsoft trying to be too cool again? Like with the Zune?
I have
we'll
no idea.
We'll put a Z word in there to compete with the iPod.
So he is taking his 15 million followers over to Mixer with him, and it's a pretty big deal to have the biggest streaming star on Twitch snatched away to the competing platform. That's one of those things that could cause people to change almost immediately for name recognition.
Oh, sure. Like I said, I hadn't heard about this in 6 months or a year. I hadn't heard the name Mixer.
Even
And
online, I'm seeing people on Twitter who are already,
checking it out.
yeah, out loud wondering, should I split my time now between Twitch and Mixer? Should I go Mixer? It's pretty incredible, like, how quickly this could really all shake things up, especially within maybe the next month.
Oh, yeah. And you have other Dr. Disrespect, that fine fellow, videotaping people in bathrooms, was even saying like, oh, I don't think this is going to work out unless I get at least 5 big streamers. It's like, no, all they need is a guy like this, and people are gonna. It's people like me are thinking, well, maybe Mixer is easier to get in the bottom floor. Maybe you start going there and filling out the roster, and then yeah, I obviously he got paid money. An exclusive deal, probably.
Oh, yeah. He didn't just do this.
This is a sports contract. Like, this is probably like 3 to 4 years exclusive, and we'll give you 7 figures. I'm gonna guess like high 7 figures. I'm guessing he's getting multiple, like a few million a year. That's my guess.
It has to be because there's no other reason for him to switch. He was comfortable,
and he was making a few million anyway. But now he's guaranteed probably money, and then even he had probably had to hedge his bets in case all of his subs potentially won't come over, but a chunk will. So he could potentially be making less money, through tips and through streaming ads, but he wants that money. The announcement video was funny because they try to make it jokey, and it was kind of off a little bit. And he said, "I want to get back to my roots." And the way they're spitting, it's like, well, I used to play Halo, and that's how I started. This is Microsoft, and it's like, all right, dude. Okay.
You don't need to explain it. Just
I want
take
money.
The money. That's fine.
It's okay to make money.
You're not getting back to any roots.
I know we're in an anti-capitalist state of mind right now, but it's okay to make money. It's not evil to do that. So within a few days, let's see, by this was August 1st, they announced it. By August 3rd, he tweeted that they had reached 500,000 followers. So he had 15 million, said originally. 500,000 in a few days, and then 716,000 as of 9 hours ago today on the 6th. So that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It might take a while to get to several million, but I guess there's not a lot of people probably know. Like, if you're on social media, you know, but I guess if you're someone just following on Twitch, he probably wasn't allowed to announce it on Twitch. Yep. So I mean, it's gonna be kind of hard to know.
That's what I was saying prior. I think if we give it
a few months,
give it a month or two, and then we'll really see what this has done. There's a stat here in this Kotaku article that Mixer's numbers prior to this, and probably still, we'll see how it improves, were very low, especially compared to Twitch. Mixer was only drawing 3% of all live streaming hours watched to Twitch's 72%.
Well, the other one's on then. The other 25%, I guess, like YouTube and Instagram Live and things like that. I'm guessing. Sure. Pornhub.
Yeah.
I don't think they can count cam streamers. I don't think that counts sex streamers.
It's streaming.
But that's a lot. That'll skew it a lot.
True.
Probably skew it a lot. Not that I would know. Anyway, so they got 7. We'll just say in the gaming sphere, it's probably they're probably like 1% of the gaming streaming versus Twitch is like probably like 80 to 90. Then YouTube's probably like in there like 5 to 10%. I'm guessing, because YouTube is, YouTube streaming, I guess, has caught up a bit, but they're still behind Twitch, obviously. So yeah, they had like a fridge of Red Bull. Asked him a question. It was a goofy video. It was what it was. People were saying, "Oh, they snagged his check mark." Well, that's because he actually is a partner. So that's why they got rid of it, because you have to be exclusive to be a partner on Twitch, technically, so he doesn't need a check mark anymore.
Yeah.
I wonder if he give them a heads up, or if it'd be cold if they just found out that morning on the social media. That'd be cold.
Imagine that hitting you right in the chest.
I got a feeling they found out that morning. I got a feeling he didn't. Or maybe he tried to say it. Maybe he went to Twitch and said, "Hey, listen, they're offering me this. Can you match this? Can you give me a few $1 million to stay?" And they're probably like, "Well, we don't need you. We're Amazon. We don't need your..."
True.
And honestly, they don't. I mean, like, they do in terms of keeping all the traffic there, but in terms of revenue, the revenue is made up elsewhere.
Yeah, they're not really worried about the cash.
It's a little bit of a hit to them, but it's not overall. People, I think, will fill in. But now it's a competitor. So long term, it might be an issue with other streamers. I look at it as other streamers will say, "Well, he's doing well enough there, and maybe I can pick up more people because there's less of an overall vibe there." I don't look at it like that. I look at it as you have an overall streaming universe, and you follow people, and unless you get noticed because there's no one else to be there's not a lot of people on that one. It's more of a shallow pool of streamers, and you can get noticed. Otherwise, I don't see it changing the number of people looking at you. Like, again, unless they discover you on a service that's a lot less. But overall, though, there's so many streamers, though, it's hard to keep up.
Right.
I mean, it's so easy to stream that everyone does it.
People have multiple social media applications and stuff like that. They'll have multiple streaming apps.
But for the amount of exposure they're going to get from this, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer for Microsoft to do this. And then I have no idea about. I'm hoping that it probably has a lot of the stuff that Twitch has already. Maybe it's probably missing some stuff. It probably has to have like emojis and things like that on the site. Like I said, I haven't been to it. Mixer, Ninja. Let's see what comes up. I'm searching on Bing, too. I'm in the Microsoft family. Searching on Bing.com, which is not the best. Google kicks the hell out of Bing,
Bing is not very good.
Bing is not good. I think Ask Jeeves is better than Bing.
Web crawler?
I liked web crawler back in the day.
Hotbot,
Alta Vista. Lycos. Lycos was good.
Excite.
All the web is still around. Right now I opened it up, and people are watching them. 37,000 people are watching him play Fortnite right now. Wow. 37,000. That's nuts. So it's so far so good. All Mixer has to show is that this is a competent alternative. Doesn't have to have all the single bells and whistles right now, but this is good enough for right now, and then we can add in more stuff with our Windows Bill Gates money.
Yep, that's basically it. As long as it just needs to be a fully functioning platform. And I have a feeling people will at least try streaming on there, even if they stream on Twitch, just to see what the difference might be. I'm
sure OBS will build it into the next one. It probably was built into OBS. I never even checked it. It probably was.
Good point. It probably is. Yeah. I know that it's supposed to have a bunch of overlays and stuff right off the bat that you can use.
All for Mixer?
Yeah.
On top? Okay. Well, here's to our pal, Ninja. Ninja, next time you're in town, fish tacos are on me.
You know where I live, Ninja.
You got them last time. Thanks for getting those nachos last time.
Guest room's always open.
Guest room's always open. All right. Ian, more GameStop news.
Yes.
GameStop lays off dozens of regional managers as it searches for a future. This is a Kotaku article we're looking at.
So that was last Tuesday. GameStop laid off about 50.
That was Thursday.
Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday. It was right after the podcast. Might have been late Tuesday, early Wednesday.
Yeah, it says on Tuesday.
Okay.
That employees took to Reddit to mention that they had lost their regional managers. GameStop put out this statement, which is just a huge amount of business ease BS. As part of our continued GameStop Reboot Transformation Initiative. GameStop Reboot Transformation Initiative.
Wow, that's a lot of corporate speak in one sentence. What is it? GameStop Reboot?
As part of our continued GameStop Reboot Transformation Initiative.
Holy shit.
I'm not even starting. A dedicated team, including the retail vice presidents, HR, LP, and the U.S. store operations leadership team, have been working diligently to realign our current field regions and districts in an effort to reduce our cost structure and build efficiencies into our field leadership organization so that we can reinvest in the business.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately, with these changes, there are more than 50 field leaders who have been impacted and will be leaving the GameStop team. This includes regional, district, HR, LP. These decisions are not easy, but necessary to help us reduce costs, to enable investment and revenue, driving initiatives that will help grow the business once again. I love how it's they have been impacted and will be leaving the GameStop team. These decisions are not easy. Wait, are they leaving, or did you fire them? You fired them. You took away their jobs because you guys don't know how to run any sort of a business. So...
Well, I mean, they did at one point. It's just that...
Yeah, 1998, 99.
They can't keep up with the changing landscape, which is fine. But, this is just cost-cutting.
Yeah. Yeah. Cost-cutting. It's an initiative.
So it's 50 people just across the sales team, regional sales team. That doesn't include other people. So it's actually more than 50 people, overall.
Yes, over 50. That was mostly just the district leaders. I am sure that sales representatives will follow. I mean, as much as they want to talk about restructuring and reinvesting in the business,
No,
to me, this is the most bold writing on the wall.
Okay.
For them falling apart within
just,
probably a year.
Well, yeah. Well, let's just do some pat math. I mean, this is to help. Their stock keeps going down. If you say, oh, we cut all these jobs, in theory, that means your revenue goes up, your profit goes up automatically, or you least less losses. So 50 people, let's just say the average salary of the 50 people is, you want to say 75,000? We'll just say 75,000. Could be more or less. That's a savings of let's just say $4 million in a year. They don't have to pay those people, plus the benefits, which is also a cost. So they're saving $4 million of operating costs in a year.
That's not going to do.
That's not going to do shit.
Yeah, that's such a drop in the bucket of what they have in terms of a problem.
Unless they really thought that they were redundancies and they didn't need them. I mean, that's always something too. But yeah, this is the beginning of the end when they start just cutting, slashing jobs en masse like this. This isn't good. Now it's every week it's something with GameStop. I'm sure the stock price has reacted.
In June, the stock price was at $5.04. Now it's at $4.02.
Now it's at $3.71.
Oh,
as of yesterday.
Okay, so in a week it's dropped from 402 to 371.
372 went up today. 0.05 of a cent.
People are feeling
0.005 of a cent and went up.
People are feeling confident.
So let's see. So you thought from last week let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, did the price go up after they announced this? Nope. It's been slipping down. There hasn't been even like the last time it went up even a little bit, looks like, was in middle of July. It went up 12 cents from 420 to 432. They must have announced something. Probably another initiative that they announced. So, slight boost. I'm confident you can turn around. Something that said nope. And so now it goes up a little bit, then it just comes down. So this is done.
You think Nick Fury goes to all of these stores and is like, I'd like to talk to you about the GameStop reboot initiative?
Reboot transformation
initiative.
So what is that? GRTI. GRTI?
Gertie.
It's Gertie?
Gritty.
Gritty. Oh, wow. 50 plus district leaders, 6 regional leaders, multiple HR, human resources, and LP, loss prevention staff. There's specific people at GameStop stores that are just for loss prevention, like security guards?
I was wondering that because I've never seen it, but I'm sure in bigger
bigger ones?
City stores there probably
might be a couple
is.
people looking around, make sure you're not stealing
right.
some Funko Pops or T-shirts that have been on the rack.
Certainly not games.
3 for $15 there. Wow. All right, this is the next. Okay, you said in June they dropped 30% the stock.
Yeah, to 504.
Now it's dropped another 20%, over 20% in a month. Wow. All right, so the next step. This is how it works. Next step. How many more stores are they going to be cutting operation for? Later this year. That's the next step. Or they might wait till after Christmas, but that's the next step.
How many stores they're actually going to shutter?
Yeah, how many more stores? A couple more hundred?
I mean, so what month are we in? We're in August.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll keep what they have until after the holiday season and then drop it?
It makes sense maybe to do that, maybe, unless they think it's not going to be worth it versus what the money they're taking in for the store. They might just say, screw it, right now we're going to drop them.
Yeah, I have a feeling if that's the case, they're going to drop them in September. They'll drop it before October and before the holiday season really gets rolling.
Sure, so they know what people can go to their new go to the other GameStop down the road.
The last thing they want to do is have people who actually want to give them money and then just disappear. So they'll probably do it earlier.
In a June 4th earnings call, the CEO, George Sherman, is that Auto Parts George, reported that used game sales had dropped 20%. 20%. Earlier this week, Sony announced its earnings call that the first time ever that digital game sales had surpassed 50% of all games purchased for the PS4.
That's insane.
That's the tipping point. There it is.
I remember it was just not even a decade ago where everyone was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. Why would we buy a digital game?
Why would we do that? Well,
now over 50% of them.
Tipping point. Here we reached it. It's the Rubicon. I never saw that movie. Where's the Rubicon from? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just know the expression. Okay, then. So it's going to be hard to keep updating the ending for the Not For Resale documentary because we put a title card for GameStop, and I think at this point it's just how they lost like over $500,000 in 2018. Was it $518 million? I told Kevin, who's directing it, keep the editor open until that Blu-ray gets made, because if they decide we're going to just like shutter like 90% of our stores, we got to change the title card at the end of the movie. No spoilers, but we go through digital versus physical. That's the documentary, and so we have to bring up GameStop at the end. It's not good. It's not a spoiler that GameStop is doing horribly. Power to the players, Ian. Well, I hope those 50 plus people find jobs, get, land back on their feet somewhere. I don't know if they're GameStop lifers. If you're in corporate, it's probably easier to find another job again, and that doing the same HR stuff. It's kind of hard to transfer GameStop skills. Working in a game store though, it's kind of a little bit tougher, but you'll find something.
Management transfers everywhere, and I mean cashier skills using
regional manager. You can work for Suncoast maybe
using like, I always call them the microsystems, but using like being able to work with that sort of software, it'll help them somewhere.
Even like a clothing store, you mean? Like maybe they can, like a regional manager for a clothing store or something.
A lot of places just look for any experience whatsoever.
Any experience in retail in a district manager level. Okay. Hey, maybe that guy works at Suncoast. That guy with the Corvette I told you about.
Oh boy,
maybe he's a guy they can talk to.
Oh boy.
All right, Ian. How dare we not bring up the Game Boy 30th anniversary?
Well, we're in between its birthdays.
In between, did we mention it last? Oh, no, we didn't mention it, but did it happen right after the podcast last week?
Oh yeah, so it was it was July 31st.
Okay.
July 31st was the 30th birthday.
So it was right after
of the Game Boy. It was right after our last episode.
In North America.
And I can't believe that.
Was it?
Yeah. July 31st in North America, April 21st in Japan.
Okay. We're going by North America.
Invented by Gunpei Yokoi, the Game Boy is the not the first portable system with interchangeable cartridges, but certainly the most popular.
Well, that's a video game years for that Microvision that we all love.
Yes. It went on to spawn, numerous follow-ups for Nintendo: the Game Boy Pocket, the Play It Loud series, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance SP, the Game Boy Advance, the regular one. But it all started with this: a black and white monochrome screen,
green and white,
8 kilobytes of internal video RAM.
Are you just on the Wikipedia looking at the specs?
I am right now. Yeah, 256 bytes. Sound. The sound chip is one of the things that it's notable for, but.
Because remember, this is 6 years after the Famicom came out, so this is a lot more advanced sound.
Yes,
in
it
that
is.
Time period.
But it rocketed to popularity in the U.S. with the pack-in game Tetris.
Sure.
Everyone knew how to play Tetris. I think that's where a lot of people cut their teeth on it. If it wasn't, various download computer versions, it wasn't uncommon to see, a middle-aged person playing Tetris. I remember sitting in a doctor's office, and the first time I ever played a Game Boy there was actually like a 45-year-old or a 50-year-old sitting next to us and asked if I wanted to play Tetris on the Game Boy, and I remember holding it for the first time.
Ian's little chubby fingers.
And I was nervous to use it. I remember I was nervous to use it, and I died very quickly. Lost very quickly in Tetris. So it launched with 5 games in the U.S. 5, yes. Super Mario Land, Alleyway, Baseball, Tetris, and Tennis.
Have I ever played that tennis game? I don't think I ever played that tennis game.
It's fun. I like it.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, most tennis games are pretty fun.
Nintendo doesn't screw up tennis games, seems like.
No, they don't.
They do a fun tennis game.
Mario Tennis.
Super Tennis, original NES, Black Box Tennis is fine.
Super Tennis was really good.
It was really good. It's 4 stars according to a certain Super Nintendo guidebook.
Yeah?
I think so. I have to check.
That's good. One of the things that I think made the Game Boy as popular as it was, despite the fact that color handhelds would come out in the Lynx and the Game Gear.
The Lynx came out like a month later.
Right. The name recognition. The fact that Nintendo had already become a household name, and they were porting versions of those games to the Game Boy. So people, I think, were willing to put up with, slightly inferior technology, because at the time they didn't really know what they were looking for anyways. There wasn't a whole lot of precedent behind these handheld game systems.
Yeah, because there hadn't been a handheld really on the market of this caliber. Microvision was of that caliber, but you know what I'm saying? So you had the Tiger LCDs, you had the little blips the little little things like that. But that's not this. These are
Right.
complete video games.
You get Tetris, you get Super Mario Land, there was Castlevanias, they did a Zelda. They kept it going by actually paying attention to it, taking it seriously, and doing good versions of their big name games on their normal system.
You didn't mention Yakuman in Japan.
Oh, I was just mentioning the
Mahjong
US.
title.
I was just mentioning the US
Come on, Ian.
ones. I know. Yeah, I have that. It's pretty good.
Oh, Tennis was a port of the NES game. Was that right? I have never played.
Not
Game Boy.
exactly.
Game Boy Tennis. Let me look up some gameplay of that.
It's
But they basically, I mean, they didn't create the market for the. They kind of did.
Yes.
The market had been dead for 8-9 years if you count the Microvision. They did kind of create the market, the handheld market.
yeah. With the Game and because you go back to the Game and Watches prior, which were Gunpei Yokoi,
And they were still making Game
well.
and Watch when the Game Boy was out.
Yeah.
It was still going. They were cycling them out, but
I think Nintendo, at least they definitely made the handheld market something that people took seriously. People bought, the little LCD poker games and the Tiger ones as an amusement, but I don't think anyone ever looked at them and thought of them as a true replacement for playing a video game.
Oh, this is a spiritual successor of the NES game, though. Tennis. You still have Mario there. The swings look kind of similar. Obviously, it's a better game, probably. Look at them changing sides. It's adorable.
Mm-hmm. It's a good game.
Oh, what I remember about the Game Boy, I remember, of course, Kevin had it,
Oh,
and I didn't.
Kevin. My Kevin never had one. It was one of the few things I had over Kevin.
Kevin had it, and he had Super Mario Land. Wouldn't let me play it. I think we let me play Tetris every now and then. And I don't think he had the link. I don't remember seeing people link it up to players. I remember it happened a couple of times. I remember like my cousin used to get everything and got the 4-player with what the hell's the racing game that came with the 4-player.
F1 race.
Yeah, F1 race, and we tried it maybe once with like 3 people at like one of the cousins' parties, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool to do that, but that was a novelty. No one really used that 4-player adapter.
No.
I don't know how many games.
Faceball 2000.
Have a nice day. Yeah. But Nintendo created a new market. I'm looking at the stats. I'm surprised. I thought the Play It Loud came out sooner than 95. So it took 6 years for the Play It Loud different cases to come out, which at the time
For real? Holy moly.
I thought it was like maybe 93. So it was not until 95. And then they did the Play It Loud with different cases, like the transparent one, the blue one. There was like 6 or 7 different ones. Red,
clear,
black,
green,
yellow.
black, yellow. Red.
And then I was like, this is bullshit. Why isn't it black and white? I said that. 15-year-old Pat said that. So then next year they came out with the Game Boy Pocket, which I would have bought if it came out years before, because by then I thought the Game Boy was sort of on its last legs, and that's right before when the Color came out. Right when did the Color come out? Color came out in 97.
I think it's 96 or 97.
When did Game Boy Color come out? So, but this was also the start of Nintendo saying, "Oh, let's just keep recycling our handheld console in different ways." They figured that. Oh, it was 98 Game Boy Color.
Wow.
98, Ian. And the lifespan of that one was 6 years, but the original Game Boy's lifespan was 14 years.
It's insane.
89 to 2003.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's only like that, and I think the PS2 might have went that long. I think the PS2 was about 13, 14 years.
There was,
I believe.
Atari was 77, and there were still games released in 89. So
it's 12 years.
12.
We're just looking at games released, not
Yeah.
producing it. What was a PS2? But anyway, that's impressive. That's incredibly impressive. But at that point, it might have been just Japan doing the black and white games. I don't know. Unless they're counting it. Oh, they might have been counting as they might be throwing in Game Boy Color with Game Boy on here. Oh, then that doesn't count. Then that's a different console.
Oh yeah, if you mean total lifespan, yes,
yeah, that doesn't count. But if you want to look at Game Boy games, I'll look it up. Game Boy games, it has to be at least to like 99, 2000. I would think it has to be 10, 11 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
It was about 600 games for black and white, not counting counting the color ones. Listed the original Game Boy games. When's the last one that came out? Probably was Japan. Let's see, 98 they're still making it. 98, 99 was there a 2001. 2000 Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition. Okay. And then some games in Japanese I can't say. So 2000 looks like 2000 was the last year. A handful. So
Okay,
like,
yeah, because
so like 89 to 2000, like 11, 12 years. That's impressive.
still nuts.
It's impressive.
And people were probably playing it more still than people were playing Atari games in '89. So
1,049 games released across regions. That might make it a little more difficult for a certain Game Boy guidebook. Definitely can't include color. Color was about, I think, about 500 or 600. I think I got them backwards. Yeah, color was about 500 or 600. And then this was at, they're different systems technically anyway. And yet there were a few. There was like a few dozen backwards compatible Game Boy Color that worked on Game Boy.
there's the black ones. The black carts would work on a black and white, but they had a full color palette on the color.
Yeah, they were basically backwards compatible. So would you count that in the Game Boy library or Game Boy
Yes.
Color? You
Yeah,
would.
if you can play them on the Game Boy, I would call it.
They show up in black and white.
Yeah.
And then they had some that were special features for the Super Game Boy.
Yes.
That was those as well.
Yeah, there were. Those weren't even black cartridges necessarily.
They were just
like the Donkey Kong '94.
It would just
a
say
gray
somewhere in the box.
cartridge, and it says
Yeah.
enhanced for Super Game Boy.
And you would get like for Donkey Kong, you get like it looked like the arcade when you played it.
You
on Super
got
Game
a
Boy.
nice border, and
Overlay.
it added a little bit of animation to it.
Oh, it
too.
did?
It's one of the few games that really took advantage of the Super Game Boy and did some cool stuff.
Right, Ian's got to consult on maybe this certain Game Boy guidebook.
Certain Game Boy guide.
That's the Super Nintendo one's not even out yet, but
I would like to state that if go for it.
no, go. But I was gonna because as I keep going back and forth, not to make it about book stuff, but Game Boy intrigues me more and more because of the library versus N64. If I was good.
Game Boy libraries.
The N64 library is trash. We know that.
Game
mostly.
Boy library is wide and beautiful.
And I don't think people want to learn about the 45 racing games on the N64. I don't think there's an interest in there. I just don't.
I think people's desire for an N64 guidebook comes down to they want to read someone else talk nicely about the 25 games that they also like.
But nothing about
and
racing.
nothing. I mean, because no one cares about all the racing games.
No one cares about the sports games.
Yeah.
No one cares about, what was it, NBA in the zone or whatever it was.
Mike Piazza's Strike
Hey.
Zone.
Like Piazza. Don't make fun of my Mikey.
So, if you like Game Boy, I do a Game Boy thing with my friend Rick. Check out at Yokoi Kids, YOKOI KIDS, and play some Game Boy games with us. Celebrate its birthday.
All right, so here's the 30 years of the Game Boy, and Pat never having one as a kid. Sad, isn't it?
It's about to be like you don't have one now.
No, I have. I have a bucket of them now.
A bucket.
A bucket, but now you can play them on the SP, and you're good to go. Or on the no, you can't do it on the micro, right? You can't play them on the micro.
No, you can only do GBA on the micro.
GBA, that's right. I don't like the micro. It's too micro. SP's fine. Grab yourself an SP or one of the third-party ones out there. Celebrate that while Pat was playing Ninja Gaiden on his LCD Tiger and getting sick in the car.
I didn't have that one, but I had Batman, and they were the exact same game, just different graphics.
They just swapped them out.
Yeah.
Is Tiger still making games?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure they are.
All right, Ian.
Patrick.
It's 2010 again.
It sure is.
People are finding rare games, and it's becoming national news.
All right.
There was like a CNN article. I believe there was a CNBC article about a Kid Icarus sealed game being found in a man's attic and an auction for $9,000. Any parallels to a Steam event story from 9 years ago?
No,
None at all.
no similarities.
So, where is this guy located here? So, it was obviously it came out in '87. Where's the actual article? What happened to the article? It went away. All right, the guy went in his attic. I can't find the article.
It disappeared.
It disappeared.
The link is dead.
He had it as a kid. I guess never played it. Now he's an older man, probably around 40. He goes in the attic and discovers he has a Kid Icarus there. And then nowadays you can look up and know that this stuff could be worth money.
Scott Amos is his name.
Scott Amos.
Found it in his childhood home in Reno, Nevada earlier this year. It was among boxes. Someone assumed that. The game cartridge had the JCPenney's receipt, sold for $38.45 after taxes.
Must have been $34.99. Yeah.
That would have made sense. And I guess despite the time passed, it was in good condition. Wada Games scored the box an 8 out of 10 and the wrapper an A, short of the maximum A++.
They give the wrap a different grade than the box? I did not even know that.
Neither did I, but it makes perfect sense in the collecting world, I guess. Yeah. There are fewer than 10 known factory sealed Kid Icaruses.
Wow. So that's impressive to me. That's surprising that we know about. Let's see.
This article on Geek is saying that he doesn't actually remember buying the game. He's like, I don't remember the game at all.
Or his parents got it from him.
My neighbor down the street had it. I remember it being hard, and I was never that good of a gamer guy.
Well, good thing you didn't open it and play it. Let's see. Valerie McLecky said, McLecky, video game consignment director at Heritage Auctions, said, Kid Icarus is one of those really iconic titles for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Finding a sealed copy in the wild is very difficult. It's nigh to impossible because there's less than 10 known sealed that are in the hands of collectors currently, and we don't suspect that there are very many, if any more, that are still sealed. Okay, Valerie, this is where I have a problem with this stuff. You have the people at Heritage coming in thinking that they are experts at this stuff. They are absolutely not experts.
Sure.
At this stuff. They are trying to learn and catch up to, 20 plus years of video game collecting knowledge. And yeah, they're getting some help here and there about it. How do they know there's less than 10 known seals? Does that mean that they've created less than 10? Or have they asked around? That's what's interesting to me, that they're going to start coming up with this, because they do this with comics. With comics, like for Action Comics, I'm wondering, like, okay, there's less than 60, and there's less than 10 in this certain grade. You know what I mean? Like they know, like, oh, there's only 1 or 2 that are near mint. Like they track it once they come in and grade them. CGC. With this stuff, I'm guessing they're starting to, obviously they have a database of how many of each title in each grade. But how do they know that? How do they know that those older collectors we talk about don't have sealed games laying out there? I had a neighbor. My father had a neighbor in New Jersey, a guy about my father's age. So in the early 90s, he would have been, like 40 about. And I went over to his house, and I told the story to Ian before, maybe not on the podcast. He let me play the games. They were all sealed. He was one of these guys that had money and just bought every Nintendo game.
Didn't you say, for at least for as long as you knew him, he just bought literally every one that came out?
He had a shelf. So if we're talking, this is like early 88. By early 88, there was still less than, I think, a couple hundred NES games. He had at least over 100. Like, he had them laid out. I remember seeing Zelda. I remember seeing black box games. And the ones I borrowed to go on vacation to Ocean City, Maryland, Ian, and this must have been 87 or 88, remember borrowing Jeopardy and Paperboy. And I was set. Pat was set. I think Ninja Gaiden I borrowed at one point. The Paperboy manual I still have there was his.
Really?
Because I forgot to give it back.
You jerk.
Because you know what? Because I remember seeing it years later. It was with like toys and stuff. Even when I didn't have my NES games, somehow that Paperboy manual survived. But here's the point. The point is, he never opened all these sealed games. And he was a random guy that had them. And then 15 years later, I think he died. I remember trying to ask about the games, maybe to buy them. And I couldn't get in touch with his wife at the time. And she probably had them or sold them. So here's the point. This was just some random guy. They don't know about this random guy's games. And this is one random guy. Well, we're still in the early stages of these games coming out. This is like where comics probably was like in the 70s and probably 80s, before the prices really, really shot up, where people are like, oh, what do I have? What does my grandfather have? What do I still have from 40 years ago? Because now maybe I'm only 50 years old. You know what I mean? Now it's starting. Now people are going to go look in their closets more so than even in 2010, before social media let people know about, oh, you might have a Steam events. Now I think this stuff's going to start to come out.
This is going to sound harsh maybe coming out of my mouth, but it's not meant to. It's just the way it is. They have to start talking with this authority, whether they have it or not, if it's ever going to turn into what this group of people want it to turn into.
Yeah.
If they don't start using the terminology like they know everything about it, then no one's going to believe it.
Yeah.
It sounds silly when they talk like this to perhaps people like us, because we kind of understand what's going on. But if this is ever going to take off in other collecting circles, they need to make it sound just like any other sort of collecting, like comics.
Yeah, and it was the one problem
memorabilia.
VJ, Video Game Authority, no one trusted because no one knew who they were. With WADA, we know who the people are, so it's better, and they have at least some pedigree. But now, the heritage connection now, that's even 1 degree away from WADA. Why do these people... Why are they experts? Because they started auctioning stuff off 6 months ago? They're experts at this stuff now? Right. No. They have to come across like that.
Yes,
I'm talking to these people from the comic book world. I talk to them.
They have to fake it until they can make it.
And that's what they're doing.
Yes.
They're nice people, but they don't know as much as people that have been around the hobby. They don't know potentially what's out there. But yeah, I'm so surprised that they think that there's 10 known sealed Kid Icarus ones. That doesn't mean there's only 10, obviously.
All games have been discovered.
They've all been discovered. These
Newsflash.
These aren't 80-year-old comic books that by now everyone's died, and then their sons and daughters have died as well, potentially, who had them. These are people that are now 30, 40 years old. They're discovering these games that they might not have opened. And the difference is that they has to be sealed in order for these to make a lot of money versus just complete in box, which are, I guess a high-end complete in box could make money. But, looking at my sealed fat conspiracy over there, I'm going to put that in Heritage Auctions and get it graded. Oh, no, they gave me one. Wada was that? That's right, they gave me it. They gave me one. Where is that? Yeah. I forgot I had one. They were actually nice enough. This is the Wada people. They gave me a top secret episode, and Ian got the DuckTales. Remember?
Yeah, they gave me a cool DuckTales.
They're not sealed. They're not sealed though.
No.
Oh man, I should get my sealed one graded. No. This is how it starts, Ian. This is how it starts. They're trying to pressure me to do it. But all right, and so let's see. Amos and his family speculates it was a holiday gift from his mother. Our only theory is that it was a Christmas present my mom bought for us and never actually gave to us. What a great mom. While the theory seems plausible, his mother reportedly doesn't remember making the purchase, simply responding, "I paid $34.99 for a stupid video game." Good old mom. So they're going to use this almost $10K to they're going to go on a vacation. And good. Use it.
Do it. It's better than letting it sit around.
Money in hand now is worth more than potential more money down the road.
Is worth 2 in the bush.
Yes. Money in the hand is worth 2 cents elsewhere. I don't know. It's true, though. When people saying, oh, you wait for the stuff to go out. What do you want the money now?
You know what they say about money in the hand?
Yeah.
Big feet.
Big feet?
I'm just mixing things together.
Mixing our metaphors up?
Yes.
Okay, cool story. I think this isn't like Steam events where like those articles were irresponsible. It's like you could have treasure in your attic. These articles are saying unopened copy of a game. So,
yes, these are being
it's slightly more responsible journalism.
Less sensationalist than it was
for that Yahoo article
in 2010. But believe me, a lot of people are going to get the same idea from it.
People are going to be saying, "Oh, is my game worth this much money?" No, it has to be sealed.
People are going to be bringing me copies of Legendary Wings wrapped in Saran wrap.
Right. Yeah, this was all over CNET. This was CNN. This was all over the place. So yeah, more. I think more sealed games in general. People will go back and look and remember, like, oh yeah, I remember getting some games, and I probably didn't open them all because I was a rich kid named Kevin, and I didn't appreciate what I had. They might do that and find them.
They might.
They might. Okay.
They might, Rabbit. They might.
All right, Ian. News out of China. Besides the tariffs that have plunged the Dow in the stock market, it was at 800 points. It went down.
He's a smart businessman.
Yeah, tariffs are great.
Smart businessman.
Tariffs are great. Yeah, please screw with the tariffs while I'm trying to refinance my house. That's always good. Affect my mortgage rates potentially. That's good. Make it volatile. So I guess there's people upset, Zelda fans. There's a PS4 game
that's it's coming out.
Chinese PS4 game called Genshin Impact, open world Zelda game. So, excuse me, Freudian slip. It's an open world game that looks like Breath of the Wild.
Looks like Breath of the Wild with some slight anime influences. So if you there's a Kotaku.com article, and I'm sure there are other ones, but it will show you side by side pictures from the games, and while the locations are not exactly the same, the graphic style looks almost indistinguishable from Breath of the Wild. It's insane.
It's close. The water looks the same. The brush looks the same.
The light laser beams coming from the Guardians looks almost the same.
Oh yeah, I mean they just basically they made the Guardians, the robot guys.
Yeah,
they're using the same appendages but just positioned differently.
Yes.
It looks it's like the same. It's like Lego pieces they just took and snapped them back together.
So apparently they showed footage of it for the first time at the China Joy Gaming Expo, and there's videos of angry Zelda fans standing there holding their Switch consoles in the air while flipping off the booth because they're very upset.
This is a PlayStation booth, by the way.
Yes, this is the Sony.
So they're
booth.
showing at the official Sony PlayStation booth.
Despite that, it was apparently the most popular game at the Sony China Joy booth. Had very long lines. It looks like.
So this is just basically an open world game with, what is it, female anime characters?
Yes.
Running around, looks like Breath of the Wild. They're running around Breath of the Wild.
There is a picture of them breaking a PS4.
Someone broke a PS4.
Someone broke a
Pro.
PS4 Pro. Yeah,
That seems a little over the top.
because they were very angry.
Relax, my man. That's some first world privilege right there.
Yeah, you don't need to break a PlayStation.
Don't break your PS4
over
Pro.
it. I'm sure Nintendo will step in when they can, but maybe not. Maybe in China it'll fly by. But I hate to say it, I kind of want to play it. Just for a few minutes. I just want to get my hands on it and give it a go and see what the comparisons are.
Genshin Impact may have copied a few elements from Breath of the Wild, but it shouldn't be necessarily taken as a bad thing. This Tech Times article said. Well, when you say copied a few elements and then the overall looks like almost identical in terms of the style, I don't know. I think you have to go a little bit farther in order to break it up. Yes, how many ways can overworlds look different in the wild if it takes place in the wild? But it can't be the same artistic style to a T.
If you straight up showed me these 4 pictures that are from Genshin Impact and said, what game is this? I'd go, oh, that's Zelda Breath of the Wild.
And someone hacked in some anime girl with a bow and arrow.
No question about it. I'd be like, oh, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I saw that they were even using same musical cues.
Oh, really?
I think I saw that reported that like the musical cues were like the same. So they did Control C. They copied and pasted a bunch of stuff, or reorganized some stuff just so they can get away with it.
This is actually happening a bit more. There's a popular bootleg Pokemon game in China that is supposed to be really popular, and it looks pretty nice too, and that it was causing all those Bring Back the National Dexers to be like, ooh, if they can do this in China, then why can't we do it here?
Elements from everywhere else. Yeah,
but they use elements from everywhere else essentially, so that's why.
I wonder if Nintendo would want to go after them. See, in China the copyright's a little looser, we'll just say.
Yeah,
a lot of parts of Asia it's looser.
A lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Yeah, a lot of outs. Yeah,
a lot of facets.
So they don't have as strict laws. So I wonder if Nintendo is going to care enough to
go after it.
Might
not be worth it.
Not be worth it.
Might not be worth it.
Think it'll. I don't know. I'm trying to think if it would come here and sell well, or people would it soothe the appetite of people without a Nintendo Switch to play a Breath of the Wild style game? No, they would have got Breath of the Wild already.
Because it can look just like Breath of the Wild, but I guarantee you it's not going to play anything like Breath of the Wild.
You'll still be able to fire off and kill things, but it won't have the same heart, and story and the voice. It'd be funny they swapped out just voice actors for the same cutscene guys in it.
Oh, jeez.
That'd be funny. All right, well that's interesting. We don't talk about China video game news that often, but yeah, it's funny seeing all the middle fingers, and I wonder if Sony even gives a shit. I wonder if they even care. They must have realized it before putting in the booth that this looks vaguely familiar.
Yeah,
maybe. All right, moving on, Ian. Ian, we have
go to the Patreon.com website. That's what you would do.
You want to start our?
We have a Patreon.
Well, you want to actually start our segment, Ian? We have a Patreon.
We have a Patreon.
We do.
It's at patreon.com/CU podcast. When you arrive there, you'll see a list of things that we do for our patrons, and you can decide whether or not you'd like to be one.
Okay.
One of those things is a poll topic weekly. This week. At 8%.
This week in baseball.
What would your ideal game collection consist of if price was no object? At 10%, when will GameStop stop accepting PS3, 360, Wii, and Wii U games and systems for trade?
These two choices were strong on their own right, and now people I think are memeing him on the Patreon, just voting for whatever the third topic is.
Yes.
No matter what.
And then at 82%...
This is a runaway hit.
What classic games have you not played that you're ashamed to admit? Take it away, Patrick.
That's a Putin election at 82%.
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, they do like 89% to make it seem like it's not totally fake. It's like, dictators do that. All right. So what?
I'll tell you mine right now if you've got to think.
I've played them. I've played a decent amount of Metroid, but never got far enough to say that I've actually know enough about it. On that same note, though, I've never played Super Metroid, ever.
Really?
And I think at this point, even though it's Super Nintendo, even though by that point I was tailing off going to PC, I would think at some point I would have probably played Super Metroid. I'm not just talking about just like, oh, I'll just load up an emulator. I mean, actually like played and understood the game and know where stuff is and got there. I don't think I've played Super Metroid. If I probably turn on and played it just to see what it is, I probably haven't played it for more than a few minutes, Super Metroid ever. So that's probably the biggest one because that's like a 5-star game according to a Super Nintendo guidebook. So that's probably a strange one where you can probably say, I've never played that game. And I haven't played a lot of like Final Fantasy ones, but I'm not an RPG guy, so I haven't played Final Fantasy 2 and 3 on the Super Nintendo. I have played Final Fantasy 7. That I've actually have played on PlayStation back in the day. But Super Metroid is the one game to me that sort of stands out because that's one of those classic games you thought you would have played at one point. And I just haven't done it.
I was actually, this wasn't my main one, but I was going to actually mention Super Metroid because as much as I like Metroid games, I've only played Super Metroid for maybe an hour total in my life. And it was, I meant to go back to it and I just never did. It's on Vonnie's SNES Mini. It'd be easy for me to go back to. The one for me is Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Everyone talks about Chrono Trigger.
Played most through it. I haven't beat it, but yeah.
How it's fantastic. It's one of the best RPGs out there. I like RPGs, but I just never got around to it, and it's one of those things where now it's just I've pushed it off so many times that it's tough for me to like find a place to like slot it in, to play it because RPGs take more time than most games, and there's other games that I'm playing, and it's one that I want to get to, but it's the one thing, especially because back in the day, people knew I really liked RPGs. It's the one that always blows people's minds that
Sure.
I've never played Chrono Trigger.
Sure.
Even Trey at work is like, really? He's just like, you should probably fix that.
Probably should. I'm looking at a list of video games considered the best on Wikipedia. This list is not the best, by the way, but let's just go through some of them here. I'm just going on the list. I never played the Tech Zork, but who cares? I played other Zork games. Elite's on here. I have played Elite, but you know what I haven't played? I haven't played the first Privateer.
Really?
Played the hell out of the second one, and that's a shame because I played a little bit of Wing Commander, but I should have played that first Privateer because I love the second one. I skipped through the first one. I should have went back and played it. I never did. Kind of ashamed to admit that because I love that. That's like one of my favorite genres of games. Like
I love that
open
genre,
world space.
too.
But
Yeah.
I have not played the first Wing Commander. Speaking of games on the Super Nintendo, and I always forget there was a sequel on the Super Nintendo. It was like the add-on was
There's secret missions.
yeah, that's so weird. They did the add-on. That's how popular that it was, Wing Commander.
Yeah.
At the time.
Oh, yeah. It was
Not Privateer,
It was
but
a
Wing.
big series.
It was big. But I never played the first Privateer. Where's my third one? Damn it! Well, now I got all the other ones that are basically the same game. Let's see. Outrun. No. I've played R-Type. Not in love with it. Prince of Persia I played, but not enough. I never played Secret of Monkey Island. Never played it.
Oh God, jeez, fix that.
Never played it. And I played a lot of LucasArts and Sierra Point and Clicks. Never played I never played any Monkey Island game.
Please fix
ever.
that.
Let's see. Lemmings is considered one of the best games. I play Lemmings. I don't like it at all.
I like it. It gets way too stressful.
Way too stressful.
Yeah, it gets to a point where I'm like, I'm done with this. Can't do it.
Never played Myst, but I'm okay admitting that. Or Seventh Guest.
Myst is garbage.
I'm okay admitting I never played those. I never liked those
Myst is
early CD-ROM adventure games.
Garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was neat at the time. I'm not going to deny its importance, but it has not aged well.
Never played Earthbound. SimCity 2000. I love SimCity 2000. That's to me it's better than the first one on the PC at least. Never played UFO Enemy Unknown. That's on this list. Is that?
Yeah, that's great. That's the first XCOM.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Never played it. Never played the XCOM games. I can admit that. I'm only really ashamed about Super Metroid and probably Privateer, to be honest. Where I'm like, okay, I should have played those at some point in my life. Grim Fandango, never played that. I should. I got to get on my LucasArts games there. Any other stuff you're sort of afraid you're ashamed?
No, most of the other things that I haven't played at this point, I don't care.
Okay, that's not shame then.
But the Chrono Trigger, that's one that I do feel some remorse over that, and I'll get to it at some point.
I probably should feel shame I haven't played the last Civilization. It's supposed to be like freaking.
It's
mind-blowing.
great. I have it on PC and on Switch.
But that's fear. That's fear. Listen, well, I don't want to play Rome Total War. I'll play it forever. Like those are the two. I remember I got Rome Total War, maybe illegally, and I had it ready to click. And I was like, don't click on it. If you click on this, your summer's gone. Your summer of whatever that was, 2003, wherever the hell it was, would be gone. Or 2004, I'll still living at home. Yeah. All right, that's our list there. So thanks. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com. YouTube/CU podcast. Ian's gonna get a writing done on there for
Yes.
sure.
All right.
Do you want to do this Q&A? This is a silly one. Do you want to do it, or do you want to skip it? We can do it.
Yeah, we can do it. Let's do it. All right. So I didn't see who asked the question. It doesn't actually say on the list.
Oh yeah, but someone asked us to talk about sandwich rankings.
So there's a sandwich ranking that was going around on Twitter. We are the #1 sandwich podcast.
We are. We haven't talked about it in a while though.
So we're going to go through. So I'm going to go through the order. Grilled cheese was #1. Grilled chicken was #2.
This is percentage, I guess, of people
Yeah.
they really like or somewhat like on
Yes,
a poll. Okay.
exactly. So 79% of people really like grilled cheese. That should be higher.
I'm starving now.
Grilled chicken. I'm going to be ravenous by the time this is done. Grilled chicken, 75% like
And
it.
turkey.
75% of people are boring.
You
Turkey.
can have a good grilled chicken. It depends on how you top it.
Sure.
Roasted pepper.
Okay.
You put some provolone on there.
You put a little provolone or
Yeah,
roasted red pepper, you're good.
Yeah.
Roast beef sandwiches, 71.
You glossed over the whole turkey thing for a
Oh,
second.
yeah, turkey.
Turkey is, again, turkey, they, in the picture they show a nice mouth-watering turkey semi-club.
With the loose folds.
Loose folds of leaf lettuce and romaine and tomato. Ooh, that could be good.
Turkey sandwiches often bore me. I'd probably go with grilled chicken over the turkey.
Okay.
Ham, 69%. I love a classic ham sandwich.
Roast beef.
Oh, yeah, roast
on
beef.
its own, I wouldn't say roast beef on its own. I mean, I like it, but these aren't really rankings in terms of how many people like them.
Yeah.
But roast beef is hard to go wrong with a good quality. It's got to be good roast beef. There's bad roast beef. It's got to be good, fresh roast beef.
I'm always down for a good roast beef sandwich in Buffalo, like one of the main foods in Buffalo, like the regional foods. You got your chicken wings, but the other big one is roast beef on weck. So
Whack?
weck.
Weck?
Kimmel weck. It's a Kaiser bun topped with basically it's brushed with like egg wash, and then they put kosher salt and caraway seeds on it and cook it up.
What the hell is egg wash?
Like egg white, so it sticks.
Oh, egg whites.
Yeah.
Okay.
So roast beef sandwiches are big in Buffalo. I like them.
Horseradish is good. On
Yeah,
that.
horseradish
Oh,
goes
God.
on there. It's usually just the bun. They
That's
take
not
the
what
bun, they dip it in the au jus, horseradish, roast beef.
All right. The ham. Again, it's all about how you do it. Just a plain ham sandwich. I'm gonna have to pass on a plain ham sandwich. And there's a lot of different types of hams, though. You got your honey ham.
Your smoked ham, your cracked pepper ham.
There's a lot of different hams. Your Black Forest ham. Like you gotta. That's right. Like the regular crappy pressed ham. No, that's disgusting. But I'll have a honey ham in a second.
I think in general, and this happened sometime in my mid-20s, I switched to where if you present me with the two basic choices of sandwich, say at a picnic, you get a ham or a turkey. I think I've switched to the ham as time has gone on. BLT.
It's an American classic, right?
It's
No, I usually don't go for BLTs personally, but I understand the appeal. I need it to be like with chicken BLT, or I need to cheat with it with my BLT.
That's fair. I love just a strict BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato.
Straight up.
Little mayo.
I just want to taste that
Done.
that bacon goodness.
it's so
I mean,
good.
I've had them. I just don't gravitate towards them. All right,
You can understand the appeal.
Now here's a club. Now here's why the club doesn't qualify me. A club is a combination of like 3 different sandwiches. Club could be a turkey, probably usually a turkey sandwich, BLT elements in a club, and maybe ham.
A classic club should be turkey, ham, bacon, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise.
And I love clubs. That's the one thing. If I went to God, I wish we had real diners. It was either breakfast food or give me a club.
Yep.
Give me a club with fries, and I'm good to go. Now, just a bacon sandwich. Is that a regional thing? Is that a southern thing? I've never had just a bacon sandwich
I think
before.
that's that's a UK thing.
Is it?
I don't know, but yeah, just a flat out bacon sandwich. Honestly, very little appeal to me there. I would prefer to have the lettuce and the tomato, mayo. I want something more than just bacon. I like bacon, but the bacon fetishism in America has gone a little far.
No, I wouldn't say that. It can't go far enough.
All right.
Is that Canadian bacon on there too? Is that regular bacon?
It looks like the thick rashers, it looks like UK bacon.
Okay, which isn't our bacon. PB&J, 66%. Classic. Not for everyone, though. That's why it's only 66% of people like it.
It's a love or hate, I think. The NBA loves it. We all know that.
Yes, we do that. Steph Curry loves his PB&J.
I do love peanut butter and jelly. I tend to go...
it's good for my belly.
I tend to go strawberry over grape, but I'll take any jam, any old jam you want to throw on there.
I don't... Strawberry on PB&J? Yeah, I can do strawberry. Strawberry grape. Yeah, any marmalade. I'm a big jelly guy. Big marmalade guy.
Marmalade's good.
I got a-
Raspberry jam with the seeds.
I got a mango one from Costco right now. It's delicious. It's like so bad for you, but it's delicious.
Yeah,
it's just all sugar. It's no preserves.
fine.
You want to try to do preserves though, or something with some fruit chunks in it.
We're all gonna die soon.
But chunky, but not necessarily chunky. All natural peanut butter is is my jam now. I can't do the fake. You have to have your peanut butter in the fridge for me to eat it. I can't do the Jiffy cheap peanut butter. I can't. You can taste the difference between natural.
I buy quality peanut butter.
Scudder's. Laura Scudder.
Laura Scudder. It doesn't always have to be crunchy for me. I can do crunchy or smooth.
Yeah, it can be either one, but it has to be natural.
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork. Okay, this is a big hit or miss for me because I like pulled pork, but if you do it bad, it's bad. It can be too vinegary, then it's no good. It's got to have a good barbecue sauce. I know you don't like, for some reason, you don't like Phil's barbecue, but their pulled pork is excellent. Excellent.
I like a pulled pork sandwich. It's not what I'm always going to go for. For me, pulled pork sandwich has to have coleslaw on top. Otherwise, it's not a pulled pork sandwich.
Okay, they do that at Phil's.
I'm picky about barbecue, so it's a real hit or miss one for me. Not going to stop me from ordering it, but I have to know I like the place first.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of hard to take a risk on a pulled pork. You got to know what you're getting into.
Yes, you don't want to be risky with a pulled pork.
Tuna at 64%. So tuna, I waver wildly on just because as a kid, my mom always got it because it was, it was the cheapest thing to buy.
Yeah.
It was like 70 cents for a can. That was like 4 sandwiches.
Believe me, I ate so much tuna for the same reason.
My mom used too much mayo. So I got grossed out as a kid sometimes. My mom.
Like
soupy Hellman's mayonnaise, Mom. Mom, why do you think I was fat, Mom? Stop feeding me the mayo and the chocolate blisses. But a good tuna sandwich, I got you. But I've grown out of love with tuna fish. Now salmon. Now I'm all about the shredded salmon. You mix that with just a teeny bit of something with a little bit of mayo. You can eat a little mayo. Yeah, it's fresher. It tastes fresher to me. It's probably better for you. Remember, go only a white albacore. You don't want to trap those dolphins in the nets like it's 1989. Remember that?
Oh yes. You don't want to do that.
That was a big thing. I'm sure this time they figured it out by now.
So tuna, I dig tuna. I go through periods where that's all I want for a week is a tuna sandwich.
Really?
Yeah. I don't make it with mayonnaise all the time anymore. What's been really good is I'll get it in the packet with nothing, or I'll get it in water. I'll drain it. I'll add a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, capers, and sometimes olive.
You have capers on hand?
Sometimes.
Okay. That's a weird thing to have on hand. Okay. Now, tuna is a thing that I would never order out, though. Never order at a diner. Never get from a supermarket. Just because you can really screw up tuna fish due to the mayo, the level of mayo, how fresh. You don't know how fresh it is when you order it. That's a weird one.
And I hate it when they cut it with celery and onions and shit. I don't want the vegetables in my tuna. If I want the vegetables, I'll put them on top of the tuna, not in the tuna.
But you do need lettuce, and in my day we use crushed up potato chips.
Yep.
On your tuna.
My mom taught me to use Doritos.
Oh, okay. We didn't have Doritos. It was too much money. We had Wise potato chips.
Wise were good chips?
Because they're $1 for a huge thing.
One of the best honey barbecues.
Now, the next one, to me, egg salad is one of my all-time favorite sandwiches.
Same. It's so delicious. People are going to look at you weird when you eat it.
No, they'll fuck them. They don't know what they're missing out on.
Egg salad is
Egg salad. The reason I like egg salad, it's very hard to screw up egg salad. So you can order at a diner, in the store if it's pre-made. Because egg salad, you know how much mayo to use. You can't trap it like tuna where it's a soup. Like egg salad, it's a certain amount of mayo. It's not too much. Good seasoning. You can put your celery in there. You put your little guys in there. And
little guys in there.
And it just tastes fresh. The eggs just taste fresh to me. Like tuna can taste weird or can turn slightly sometimes. Egg salad's just a fresh sandwich.
I mean, it can definitely go wrong.
Well, it's harder than tuna though. It's a lot harder because it's not fish.
Okay, I suppose so. One of my...
I'm shocked it's only 50%. I thought it'd be like 70%.
I'm not surprised. I figured egg salad would be low on the list. I love it. One of my secret favorite things is every once in a while, if I'm having a shitty day at work, I will go get an egg salad sandwich across the street from 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven
they pre-make them there?
Makes a good egg salad sandwich.
Well, they don't make them, but they have someone else.
Yeah, whoever makes them for the corporation.
The corporation
makes a fine egg salad sandwich.
Now, I have to say I'm insulted that only 56% of people said they like a meatball sandwich. How dare you? Unless you're a vegetarian or vegan, there's no reason not to like a good meatball sandwich. Now,
I like them, but I don't order them because they're messy and sloppy as shit.
you got to get one from Mona Lisa. Handmade, real meatballs, not frozen shit. See, when you order from like a pizza place, a lot of they order from the same place. They're bought in meatballs.
Oh, sure.
They're like the frozen Costco ones. They're actually worse than the frozen Costco ones. They taste like plastic sometimes. A nice, good, real homemade meatball at a pizzeria, like they're making them like every day. That's one of the best things you could possibly have. Go order from Mona Lisa. Get them delivered.
Actually, I think though at Soda and Swine they have meatball sliders.
What the hell, Soda and Swine?
It's one of the restaurants that's owned by the same people who do like Craft and Commerce, Underbelly. It's in Soda and Swine has 2 locations. One's in Liberty Station. They actually do a bunch of different like pork-based sliders, and they have a meatball slider that's really good. But I like that because I can handle it.
So before you order from a pizza place or Postmates, you please inquire if you're going to meatball sandwich. You have to inquire if they're homemade, house-made meatballs or not. Okay. Reuben at 48%. Now I like Reubens. I don't ever eat them, but I'm fine with having a Reuben.
Reuben is like. Honestly, if it's not my favorite sandwich, it's very, very close to my favorite sandwich.
That has to be a totally regional sandwich.
I love...
That's a New York thing, Jersey
I
thing.
love Reubens. They were everywhere in New York, and you can't... It's hard to find a good one out here. It is. But I do love Reubens.
Well, there's not a lot of Jewish delis out here.
No, there's not.
To begin with. So the Jewish deli, they'll specialize in stuff like the Reuben or the real, I guess a real Sloppy Joe, not the meat one, like the Sloppy Joe sandwich.
Yeah.
That's totally, I think, probably like a tri-state area thing, right? What's in a Sloppy Joe? What's in a Reuben eating real quick?
Reubens are corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and Thousand Island dressing.
Russian dressing, according to this.
Russian Thousand Island are basically. They're close.
And it's on rye.
Yep.
Sloppy Joe.
Always supposed to be on rye bread.
See, most people know Sloppy Joe is actually a sandwich. I think it was probably one first. I can't find it now on here. New Jersey's version of the Sloppy Joe exists nowhere else. This is an article. So, okay, what's the Jersey Sloppy Joe? Yeah, the Jersey Sloppy Joe. It's kind of in the Reuben family. So it's really a Jersey thing?
I've never heard of it.
It's, let's see.
So, double-decker, thin-sliced rye bread sandwich made with...
It's really just a Jersey thing? I thought it was a Northeast thing. Sloppy Joe. I've had an original Sloppy Joe. So they claim that they
It's a cold delicatessen sandwich.
Okay.
And then it's double-decker, thin-sliced rye bread
Okay.
made with 1 or more types of sliced deli meat, such as turkey, ham, pastrami, corned beef, roast beef, or sliced beef tongue, along with Swiss cheese, coleslaw, and Russian dressing.
So it's in that Reuben's family.
Coleslaw instead of sauerkraut, and it's cold instead of hot. And yeah, I mean, they're a little bit looser with what you can do for your meat there.
So they claim that was the original Sloppy Joe from like the 20s.
Yeah.
So, okay, now we got to get one in Long Island. We got to find one.
Sounds kind of good.
So, okay, I'm starving now.
Me too.
Are we done with the list? Oh, no, we're at French dip, Ian. French dip's a weird one.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine. I'd rather have a roast. Honestly, I'd probably take anything else. If I can get a French dip someplace, I can probably just get a regular roast beef sandwich. The French dip is nice because it comes with the au jus, so it gives me a little bit of that
French
taste.
roll.
Gives me a little bit of that taste of home, but
Au jus gives you the taste of home?
Well, I was talking about how the roast beef sandwiches in Buffalo, they dip the buns in the au jus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they slice it, touch them to the top of the au jus so it soaks up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And then roast beef, and then...
Does it fall apart when it does that?
Eat them fast.
You complain about a meatball sandwich. Meatball buns don't fall apart from soaking in the sauce.
You just do a little. Just a dab.
Okay.
A little dab will do you.
Okay.
All right.
So that's actually the French dip's an American invention. That's okay, according to Wikipedia. While we're on the French dip, the one thing I've never had is a Monte Cristo.
Oh, they're good.
I don't like combining desserts and meals.
They're good.
I don't like combining sugar and like freaking syrupy stuff with like eating a meal. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like.
I like sweet and savory together. Monte Cristos are good, but I'm not going to go out of my way to make them.
Well, who's going to make one? You got to deep fry it up? You got a deep fryer?
I mean, you can also do it
in a pan.
Yeah. It's basically just...
Monte Cristo, just fried ham and cheese.
With basically on French toast.
On French toast. Now I'm hungry. Let's go to Denny's and get some sandwich. We should seriously get a sandwich. We should go to Poma's and get a sandwich. They got a good meatball sandwich there.
Their roast beef sandwich. I've never ordered anything but their roast beef sandwich.
And actually, the pizza's really good, too.
Really?
Yeah, the pizza's good.
I believe it.
Didn't we get it during the marathon? We got Poma's? Yeah, Bonnie picked it up. That was Pomo's we had.
Oh, the subs. I didn't know it was the pizza too.
Did we get pizza
No,
too?
the pizza was from someplace else. We did
No.
did get Poma subs. The pizza was delivered to us. Remember, we had no idea who delivered us the pizza.
Oh, I thought we got a pizza the same time we did Pomo's. So
No.
we didn't. Okay, that's right. The case of the pizza.
The mystery pizza.
Mystery pizza. All right, well, that's good. That was a fun topic. We haven't done like a topic like that in a while, like food or cereal.
I like those.
That's a good topic. So, all right, that's our Senior Podcast, Ian.
All right. Well, for Pat Contry.
Well, we got stuff coming up.
Oh.
You can pre-order a certain Super Nintendo guidebook at ultimatesnes.com. The NES book, if it's on a broken down truck somewhere in Michigan, it's almost back in the warehouse.
All the oxen died and they ran out of wheel tongues.
That's all I need to know is like a heist and they steal my books. We're going to be at Long Island Retro Gaming Expo this weekend in Long Island, baby, New York.
It's going to be fun.
10th, 11th, I am going to a real pizzeria. I'm not going to Golden Corral, Norm, and Jay. Oh, real quick, this is the first time Norm yelled at me ever. The first time Norm really ever yelled at me was this past weekend.
Oh.
And I have to say, I didn't do anything wrong. We were talking about poker, and I said, my bucket list, I told you about World Series of Poker. I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I think I want to do it next. I said, I think I can make the second day. I said, I'm confident. And Norm flipped out on me. Norm acted like I said I could beat the UFC heavyweight champion tomorrow.
Oh.
And he flipped out, and it was funny because it was at the VIP event. And he's like, what are you talking about? You can't do that. You can't just waltz in. And I was like, Norm, most of the people are still not eliminated on day 2. There's 9 days to the event. And I think I triggered something in him. I don't use that word often, but he revealed that he once played competitive Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he had qualified to play with professionals once. Like he was a player, and then he must have got his ass kicked. He didn't go the deal. I inferred that he must have got his ass kicked and thought he was a hot shit before playing. So now he was experiencing it again when I was telling him I can get to day 2. And I think I triggered something in Norm about that. But he apologized later, and we had fun. It's all good fun. But it was funny because BJ and him, it was like a whole 10-minute argument I was having with Norm about it.
Oh, God.
Love Norm. We all love Norm. And we don't see Norm the rest of the year, I don't think.
No, he's not going to be at...
He's going to miss Portland this year. So now I'm sad. I don't see my buddy Norm there. Okay, well, anyway. So I'm going to make the day 2 of the World Series Poker. I'm going to try.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. Do it now. All right, so for Ian Ferguson, I'm Pat Contry. We'll see you in Long Island. If not, we'll see you next week. Well, Ian won't see you next week. Ian's going to be gone the next podcast or 2. We'll see if we can call in for one, but
Yeah,
not.
I can maybe call in for the one after.
What, just to say hi or for the whole thing?
For the whole thing.
Okay, well, we can see if that works. That might be weird, but okay. All right, we'll see you later.